Okay, we start with the post-production, and I have my both files opened. Let me fix my camera. I have my both files open, both interior shots, and then so what we're gonna do, similar to the last post-production, I'm not gonna start from scratch. I'm gonna take the last image I have here and work on it and see what we can do. So I guess I start with this one first, just to see what's going on here. And they're not great. As an adjustment. Okay, I turn off the adjustment layer, and then raw is the fourth raw, and then okay. I guess this one is the last render because some stuff has moved tiny bit. Yeah, because of the composition. Okay, and so wow. Okay, this is the raw render. This is the first image, like first post-production, and then adjustment, which I work on metal carpet a little bit, and yeah, I made the kitchen island a bit brighter. And then we have a grade layer. What I did here, I loaded just a color lookup table. So I'm going to have a look at this camera raw render we have here. Okay, yeah, so far so good. And even the color lookup table, we're going to keep that. And I'm going to open my template PSD file. I think everything is there. I'm just gonna move the AI enhancement layer. Well, I could make it also, but just too lazy. Elements in the elements folder. So what are we going to do now? We're gonna okay, I'm gonna select everything, Control J, Control E, and file, save a copy, JPEG, P4 US, which means P4 upscaling, and save. Okay, open, P4 US, open, image size, 2500, and okay, save a copy, save, yes, scale. Okay, this is the result we have. I am going to save PNG. Hello. Save it. PNG. Oops, yeah. So, how does it look like? Okay, of course we need to mask some stuff. And yeah, I mean, in general, in terms of the, like for example, this kitchen wood, I don't hate it. It's not okay. So first I'm gonna add a so I'm gonna put the name of this layer raw new. I mean, just put it new because it's not the raw render. It's just the last stage of our render. And Yeah. And this one I also just put it AI, so we're gonna mix it. It's done a pretty good job, I would say, overall. Yeah, I like this imperfections here. Wow, crazy. And overall, just this wood is just looking like so nice. Wow. Okay, interesting. So what is happening here? Okay, just didn't understand what's going on here. Made some bullshit. Okay. I guess what I'm going to do, I'm going to. I think I need to blur it a bit. It's a tiny bit too sharp. Okay. 0.3 should be fine, huh? Yeah. I think 0.3 should be fine. And we can see it and we can change it anytime we want. So I just remove this idiot. Okay, I've changed opacity to 100. So yeah, this in terms of the reflection, it didn't do a good job with this, all these reflections and stuff. Because I think it's just too complicated for him to understand what's going on. Yeah. Yeah, this one here also, it goes all the way completely. I want to keep the stuff that is happening here. I want to keep them. But yeah. Okay, we just need to do it like one by one. I just fix the yeah. In general, it's just a bit too much. Everything is a bit too much. A bit too crazy. Yeah. I don't know. I think maybe I need to do upscaling again. But fuck it. I'm just gonna keep it. I'm just gonna keep this. And I think I'm gonna remove the carpet. Do I have an element for carpet? Of course not. Okay, no. Yeah, I think 50% is working better, in my opinion. Let me see what's going on with the wood here. Yeah, for example, this here is just, it's not right. You're not gonna get this kind of stupid errors. And also, again, this black line, which I'm gonna, in this case, I'm going to just clean it like so, and then all the way to here, and then from here to here, from here also to there. So I mean, in general, I like what it's doing with even the wood, the table wood here. Yeah. And let me, just for the sake of checking something, I'm going to, okay, disable the, I'm going to, let me put it on 100 to see what is going on here. No, the carpet looks a bit, yeah, I think the setting we had for upscaling, it was a bit too much. I think this, why it doesn't show the settings? That's just stupid. This HDR I putting on 4, I think it was a bit too much. Let me give it a try one more time. Put it on 3 and see the result, or even 2. Put it on 2, and yeah, creativity can stay. Okay. I used to have this slider for here. They change this website every fucking day. Okay. Um, so I'm going to, yeah, I'm gonna check it with this one. So this is new AI. This was the old one. Okay. Here I have some Gaussian blur going on just to make the comparison fair. I'm gonna apply smart mask. I'm gonna convert it to smart layer and then apply this Gaussian blur here. So we have the same blurry. Interesting. This is, yeah, this is overall sharper. This is less sharp. Is that because 100? Okay, 100. Yeah, everything is same. Yeah, I think the main reason that between the sharpness, it's not really a sharpness. I think the previous upscaling, it went more into the detail because of the higher HDR number, and this one it goes less into the details. So I think that's just the main reason why. Let's see what it does to here. Yeah, you see the other one is just a little bit detailed. And about the plants, yeah, not much change, honestly. Not much changed. Yeah, you see, for example, this part of the wood, it looks okay. Okay, we just go with the old one. That's completely fine. This was for, I just put it AI carpet. Delete layer mask. I go here and I choose the carpet here. I know this is not the best way to do it. Select, modify, expand. I think like, let's put it on 1 pixel. 1 pixel would be enough. And then I'm going to mask the carpet, but remove this stupid black line. So for the carpet, look, the whole, I like the detail here, but it just doesn't look like a carpet. I think I'm just gonna keep some of it and of course remove some of it. So, well, let's see if I put it on 50, maybe it's just going to look okay-ish. And 60. No, it's too much. I put it on 50, and then, for example, the stuff like here, I'm going to just remove them. Maybe also here. My brush opacity, I put it on 50, and then I think the cushion blur is a bit too much here. I put it on 0.1. Yeah, I like these effects like come off the table. And okay, with carpet we finished. With the other part of the AI we need to like check super closely. I'm going to do it now. I don't know what is happening here, but it doesn't really, it's not really visible. No, sorry. And the stone looks fine, this looks fine. Yeah, for example, this wall here looks weird. Put it on 100%. I'm going to remove it completely. Not sure what's happening here. I'm also going to remove this. So the table in front. Yeah, so far so good. So far so good. Yeah, I mean, these are looking a bit disturbing to me, honestly. But I mean, maybe I can put the brush on 50% and then just brush on top of them so that we see only 50% of the AI image. I'm not gonna go inside much because it was doing some weird stuff with the reflection. So I just, yeah, I mean, it's okay. It's not perfect, but it's okay. And what is this doing here with all this stuff that's happening? Yeah, I don't see much weird stuff here. Thanks for the material. Yeah, it should not be too dirty. Look like here is too fucking dirty. Yeah. Let's see if we can fix that with 50%. Yeah, not bad. Yeah. So I think what I did was not a proper way. I'm undoing everything I did here because I think, okay, the proper way would be just to, because I have to just make the effect, the upscaling effect here like 50%. The proper way in order to have the same kind of effect everywhere is just to have the entire area with 50% brush. I did a few brushing and then just that it was not consistent. So the best way would be change the brush to 50% and then with one go, I cover the whole area like so. So basically just the same effect everywhere. I think we are done with the AI part. AI carpet. I'm gonna copy, put it here, delete the mask, and put it on 100% to see. Yeah, maybe for the flower, we can. I'm gonna change my brush to white, and then the opacity I'm gonna put it on 75. going to brush it here. Yeah. Wait, it doesn't need to have AI for everywhere, but so let me see what it's doing with this here. Okay. One more time. I mean, I can copy this. I'm not sure why am I just going copying the first layer. Let's see how is this looking. Yeah, the problem I have with this is now it's looking like a, I don't know. It just looks like this is a stone, but now it looks like some kind of wood. What if we, okay. I like this detail here. And okay. I think it's looking okay now. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So make another layer here. Just change the color to red, and then put gray here. And I'm gonna select everything we just made with AI, Control J, Control E, and then I'm gonna layer collapsed. So just we know. And Control J again, convert to a smart object. So we're gonna go to camera raw filter, and so let's see what we can do. So I'm gonna flatten the image as much as I could by removing the stuff that might cause a contrast. So it looks pretty flat. I'm gonna keep that for now. It's just, let's see how it looks. Let's see how it looks. No, we had that bad experience with going too crazy with this. I'm just gonna leave it as is now. For the effect, of course, I'm going to add a grain, but should we add the grain now or later? I think I'm just gonna add the grain later. In color mixer, last time we worked with the point color, but let's try with the normal color mixer. I'm just gonna go into the green color, and before we change it, we do any changes to check how much effect it has, you can just play with the luminance to see, okay, this is mostly affecting the green outside, of course, and then the book color. So because sometimes, for example, I guess if we change the orange color here, it's like kind of affecting the whole thing, but still it's not that crazy. Yeah, this yellow color, for example, you see it just makes the whole image darker, even on the green, the outside, which is interesting. How much yellow tone they have. So I reset the colors. I go to the green. This is also a great way to remove the contrast. And Okay, now I need to look at my so these are the images from Tonbras. Yeah, I think the green is now it's a bit too yellow now. Yeah, and saturation is okay. Ah, this is also interesting. So this is basically removing all the yellow tone. I like how it looks, and then the trees outside, but not the inside. But what we're gonna do, I'm gonna make it a bit less, and then for the orange tone also, I'm gonna make it less orange. This is overall, it's gonna look a bit, yeah, this is gonna look a bit too cold, in my opinion. -10, and yeah, I think I'm going to add the effects also here. Let's put it on 30. So I add a little bit of roughness, but 30 is of course a lot. I'm going to put it on, yeah, 15, I guess. Yeah, I'm sure it's not going to be really visible from here on the video record, but what basically is happening, if I zoom in here, because the problem is that this effect is not looking like this. It's not like a noise on the render. And it's not, and from here, when I zoom in, I can see, I mean, when I go closer to my monitor, I can see what's going on. It just added a little bit on top of the structure. It just adds a bit more structure to the image. So basically, some stuff just looking flat and just a bit noise. I like it. And yeah, with the clarity, we can also go a little bit low. Yeah, texture can be, I mean, I like it sharp, but this is kind of a trap a lot of time. We just like it. It looks sharp and you know, sharp and nice for the first when we see it, but then in the end, it doesn't have a positive effect on the image, in my opinion. It just helps the render to look more rendery, if that makes sense. So I'm not gonna play with dehaze. So so basically we made everything more flat now. It's not really a big change. I mean, it's kind of big, the difference, but I made it flat in order to add contrast the way I want to add contrast. So the way I want to add contrast is usually with adding different lots, lookup tables. Okay, not this one. I have it too contrast. Corona. Ah, what is this first one? Yeah, looks a bit too red. This portrait series is also my favorite. This is not what I'm looking for. Maybe 50. And I think I'm just going to, okay. I guess I need to again, Control J, again, convert to smart object. I need to go to camera raw filter one more time. I think the best way for now is to add contrast here. I didn't want it to add here because I did some other stuff. Somehow I was removing the contrast. But I think the best way would be to add contrast here through these white and black sliders. Yeah, this is minus 16 plus 60. Okay, we put it on minus 30 plus 30 plus 15. Oh, this was still 30 minus 30 plus 30. Yeah, kind of minus plus 20 minus 20. And what if we make it brighter from exposure here? This might be too bright. See, yeah. Okay. Just to quickly check it with the run new. Yeah, this was the old one. This is the new one. Old one. Yeah, I think there is too much yellow color here now. Ultra, yeah. This is just not acceptable. I think what I did here was not nice. The lookup table and the curve and then on top. Okay, I guess just gonna add a bit contrast here using our white and black slider. Not too crazy, and then make the image a bit brighter. Yeah, I think this is looking much better. I think this is looking better. Okay. Yeah, I think this is better. Yeah, it was too yellow. It was too yellow, and I also need to check it on my phone to see the exact colors. But I have the feeling this is looking better now. Okay, but before we finish, I'm gonna try a few more lookup tables. Wait, where's this? Yeah, I mean, overall, this is not looking bad. The lookup table itself, with 50%, it can be 25, for example. I like the contrast it gives to the image. Yeah. Let's compare it with the old one. Is almost everything almost the same. It just there's like a little bit of warm tone into it. Yeah. And let me see if I make this. What happen if I just make this a bit darker? This and no, nope, bad idea. And, this is the channel for backplate. So what I just want to check, I mean, I am not very optimistic about this change, about doing this, but just let me try. So what I'm basically going to do, I'm gonna add some bloom and glare to the image, but usually it's not really working so nicely usually. So basically I added changed the layer to smart layer, and I'm gonna add a kind of a heavy, yeah, something like that, kind of a bit more heavy blur, and I'm going to put it on a screen and then take the opacity to 20. No, I don't like it. I think there was a yeah, maybe this is very dangerous what I'm doing at the moment. I'm thinking maybe a little bit of green tone to the shadows might be nice, which I believe the render itself has already some green tone to it. Oops. Even 10. That's crazy. After adding the green tone, no, now my eyes can see the red tone, the magenta tone that is like in render. Interesting. Shadows. Okay, before I do anything, I just check something. Red. No, magenta. No. Yeah. So I don't know if that's really visible in the screen recording, but here I have changed the tint and the vibrance. So before, which is this one, I see a very slight red tone, especially on the ceiling. After changing it, the red tone switched to, it went from magenta to green. I'm sure it's not going to be visible on the screen recording, but I have also, I must also check it on the phone, and which I'm going to do now. Let's save it. Name it Cam 6 new underline final underline v1, because you never know how many versions you're going to do. So it looks pretty okay on the phone. There is some green tone on the image, especially on the shadows, but it's pretty, it's not heavy. You know what I mean? It's just, yeah. Overall, it's looking good. I usually put the light on my screen on half, and yeah, I'm not zooming in the image. I just look at the image, just you know, overall, just not super close. And from what I can see, it looks pretty okay. Yeah. So thank you for your time. For the next video, I'm going to do the other interior. I think hopefully the other one goes faster.